Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Didi. I'm a South African living in New York City, and I'm figuring out what I'm doing with this channel. Some of it will be revealed in this rant, maybe call it a rant, I'm not sure. I'm here to talk about where I've been and the year that was 2022. I don't know about you, but at the end of 2022, yeah, I was feeling pretty rough. It was a struggle. I was feeling like a discarded tin of sardines, just rusting somewhere in the wilderness in the wind. I felt like a used up rag. In my language, we would say skroplapa, which is essentially a rag that you use in the kitchen, and then once it becomes too shady to use in the kitchen, you use it on the floor and then you get rid of it. So I felt like skroplapa, like I had been used to the last thread. I was threadbare. Okay. I felt like I had been raked over the coals, just blisters everywhere. It was a tough year, and in general, I feel like whenever I've had tough experiences, I walk away with big lessons, or I'm trying to shy away from using the word lesson because I think it's very much for me tied in with like religious sensibilities or like religious doctrines, and those are things that I have within me because I went to a Catholic school for girls, and I was taught by nuns, and as you can imagine, there's still some stuff that I'm working through from that. Some of the stuff I'm happy about, some of it is stuff that I'm like, I don't think this is serving me. So I'd rather, let me say, there are things that I learn about myself. That's still a lesson, right? But there are things that I learn about myself. I become clear about things that I like, things that I dislike, things that are serving me, things that don't serve me, and more. And so that's the saving grace of going through tough times, I would say. I hope that when you go through tough times, there's things that you feel you glean from those experiences, because otherwise we're just getting raked over the coals for no reason. One of the biggest things that I learned about myself last year is that I have, it's so hard to say out loud, a debilitating level of self-doubt and the need for perfection. In 2021, I shot between 6 and 12 videos. Vlogs, was so excited about them, about editing them. I had, yeah. But they never saw the light of day. Where are they now? Not on this channel, that's for sure. Which is that's like a waste of effort. It's a waste of energy. It's like a nitpicking, nitpicking to the point where it's actually just not positive and it's not useful. I think there is the same things that make me, or that help me feel, or that that lead me to feel debilitated in my self-doubt or like paralysis, because it is a form of paralysis that I experience, are also things that work if I'm in balance. If I'm in balance and I'm able to like use the self-doubt and the pursuit for perfection or perfectionism and the nitpicking in a way that's balanced enough for it to be reasonable, it actually works in my favor. But in my case, it gets to a point where it's detrimental to anything that I try and create. And I would say that this pursuit, need, attempt at perfection that shows up in my work and what the projects that I put out in the world bleeds also into how I am as a person. And that was another thing that I learned last year, that when I'm feeling like I'm not my best, when I'm feeling like I'm struggling, I tend to feel like I'm going to be a burden on other people. I feel like I'm going to be a Debbie Downer. I feel like, I can't arrive like this. I need to be looking good, feeling good. I just must be bringing positive vibes. And it's weird because when my friends come to me in whatever state they're in, I am so happy to receive them as they are. I am so happy to be present for them. But for some reason, I struggle to share with others when I'm having a hard time. And I had a lot of hard times last year. In addition to the fact that, I don't know if I've mentioned it here, I'm someone who's living with depression. And it's something that I manage. I don't always do a great job, but it adds to the stresses, the darkness, the fog that I tend to experience. And so that's something I'm going to be working on this year. not being so harsh on myself about what I put out into the world, and also not requiring myself to be perfect before coming in front of people, especially friends, right? Because what then happens is that I become isolated, and then I'm keeping it in, and then by the time I need help, it's crisis, and then I can't reach out at that point, or I feel like I can't reach out because I don't know what's been happening all along, and then it's just the cycle of just an awful experience, all around awful experience that just is not sustainable. Quite frankly, it's not sustainable. I cannot live like this anymore. So I'm going to work on reaching out when I need support. And actually, a step before that, trying to recognize when I need support and trying to recognize when a good time would be to reach out to friends to talk to them about things. Work in progress, right? We're all a work in progress. I do feel like I've made some progress because this year I actually had a moment where I invited 2 friends over to my apartment, and it was a week where I had the worst week of my, you know what, let me not say life, but it's in the top 3. Let's just say I cried every single night. This is this year, Ghana. It's not last year, this year. I cried every single night that week. It got to a point where I stopped using toilet paper and napkins and paper towels. I started using washcloths. I was like, because it was just a certainty that the tears were going to come. And there was just so much tears and snot that it was like, okay, we need to do this in a sustainable way because this is not stopping anytime soon. So I switched over to washcloths. That's how bad it got. So at the end of that week, I had already planned with friends that I was going to invite them over. And what I would normally do is I would just cancel or postpone and just go into my little cocoon until I can emerge perfect and sparkly and then host. But I challenged myself to let my friends arrive to my apartment, to host them in the state that I was in. It was not a perfect hosting. I felt like I was absent-minded. I felt like, I'm the kind of person, for better or worse, who always sees things that could be better. I don't spin out about it in a social setting necessarily, but I do notice like, I could have put that away, or I could have folded that towel, or I could have tucked that away. But I had to focus on this is such big strides that you've invited friends over, even though you feel like hot shit, quite frankly. Even though you're feeling a little bit outside yourself, even though you're looking rough, And this was the first time they were coming to my house. So there was even more pressure, but I was able to refocus myself on this is about spending time with my friends. I don't have to be perfect. It's a work in progress. I'm going to have to remind myself of that a lot. It's weird to be talking about this now because it's 2023. To be talking about the things I learned last year, but I think it's impossible in my mind to continue this year without talking about the things that I'm bringing in or the lessons that I've learned, the gifts that I bring in from 2022. Because I think a lot of what I'm going to be doing moving forward on this channel is going to be informed by that. One thing I really appreciate about having a collective moment of starting a new year. Yes, Gregorian calendar. I understand that different cultures have their own definitions of a new year, and there's different ways of celebrating. Like there was just the Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year. What I do appreciate about this traditional global New Year collective that we have is that everywhere in the world, for the most part, we're all acknowledging that, hey, out with the old, in with the new. And it's something that I've grown to appreciate even more as I've grown older because I use this. There's a website called Year Compass where you go and you reflect on the year that you've just had and you look forward to the year coming. I'll try and remember to put a link in the bio or description, whatever that box is called. And that really helps me wrap up my year and look forward. So I'm grateful for New Year's because it's like a sense of remembering that it's okay to let go and it's okay to move forward and it's okay to start afresh. And that's what I'm trying to do with myself every time a new year comes around, right? Another big lesson, I think this is the second lesson that I'll be sharing and then I'm going to call it a day, is that for some reason, I tend to do something that I don't know if other people do this, but I tend to attract and be attracted to in every sense of the word. Like, I mean, in work, friendships, in every sense of the word, like acquaintances. Experiences where I end up being a caregiver, even when it's not necessarily appropriate, being asked for or needed. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like I center men a lot. I center men because of lots of things that I've uncovered about myself, right? About childhood, they have to do with childhood. They have to do with like my ideas of safety, trauma, childhood trauma. I feel like everyone has childhood trauma. So when I say that, I don't want you to go to the darkest places in your mind. I think people can experience trauma from like the smallest things to the biggest things. Even the fact that I'm calling it small and big is not the right way to describe these things. But I feel like people do develop trauma from different things in childhood, right? Because there's no such thing as a perfect parent. There are parents that do their best, right? And then it is what it is after that. And so I've been doing a lot of work unpacking that, my relationship to men and my relationship to feeling like I have to fix things and fix people and like protect people and be in the gap and stand in the gap. And it actually means that I use up a lot of emotional energy. It means I put a lot of emotional labor into my relationships, and I'm actually interrogating why I feel like this is necessary and if it's necessary to be doing it to the level that I'm doing it. I had 4 different roles/jobs last year. How many do I have now? I'm resigning from 2 so that I don't have any more and I can just connect with myself. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to making space for myself, to connect with myself, to piece myself back together, and to figure out what's new and what's next. And I hope that by doing that, I invite energy that I don't currently have, energy that I would like to have in my life. Because I do believe that when we make space, there's so much possibility for amazing things to happen. So I hope that made sense. I wanted to just share with you all where I am, how I'm feeling, and to just let you know that I haven't abandoned this channel. I had just abandoned myself a little bit. But we are back. We're working our way back. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to do on this channel. I've got a lot of really interesting ideas, and I really want to take the time to experiment, try out, fail, make mistakes, whatever. It's okay. It's okay. And that's going to be my motto. It's okay. All of it is okay because we're human and it's part of the experience. And there's just some things that you're just not going to be able to know you can do or can't do unless you live through it. And so I'm looking forward to this year. I've been hearing a lot of people calling it 2020 me. And I always feel like these things are so like whack. But I'm taking that one on. I'm going to center myself and be guilt-free and unapologetic about it, because I feel like decentering myself has been detrimental. I would love to hear from you how you are doing. How was 2022 for you? What were the biggest lessons you have taken from last year? See, I'm still using the word lessons. I probably will for a very long time to come. What are the things you've learned about yourself from last year that you're bringing into the new year with you? What are the things you're most excited about this year? I know that for me, it's going to be connecting with myself again, reminding myself who I am, discovering new parts of myself, and sharing that in some capacity on this channel. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope this message is well received, and I'll see you soon. I hope you have a great day further. Goodbye.